Not going to struggle when you get buckets like that. Nice and easy. LeBron drawing the double team. Davis puts it down for 2. Just over a minute later. Keep your eye on LeBron. Davis backing down, and it's going to be LeBron coming through. Not stopping that. Just get out the way. Similar situation, though. This time AD drawing the double, LeBron getting the easy bucket later in the quarter. LeBron grabbing the rebound. And we see this so often from him. Just dials it down court. Wow. AD's a receiver. And it's not a problem because it's always on point. When these guys are going, again, it's a problem, as we all know, defending champions. LeBron playing some defense too. Goes the other way. Signature finish from LeBron. Him and Davis combining for 39 points while the Bulls only score 33 points in that first half. Davis goes up for 26 by himself. He's a Chi-Town kid, so wants to show out for sure. Lakers up by 30 at one point. More from Davis. Like, how do you stop that? The man's big. He's skillful, nimble. Led all scorers with 37 points. LeBron finishing with 17, 11, and the 6 Lakers winning this contest. And Anthony Davis had his best game of the season, 37 points against his hometown team. Now, again, Davis said he was recently slumping. Broke out in a big way with his second 30-point game of the season. The Brow had 35 points in his previous 2 games combined. So by his standards, yeah, he was slumping. But now...
filmed on them yesterday. I watched their game yesterday that they had versus Charlotte. Then I watched a lot of film this morning. And just try to get, accustomed to a lot of the sets that they run, so I can keep my guys prepared, keep them a little bit ahead of the play. Just being very knowledgeable about some of the sets that they like to run, some of the ATOs, some of the things they like to run the half court, things of that nature. Just to have my guys keeping their head on the swivel and not get surprised by anything.
Yeah, the defense speaks for itself with the points allowed in the first half. Offensively, it was a different profile from the Bucks game. Threes and paint points. Is that how much of that is what the defense is given? How much of that is a focus from the way you're playing?
Every game has its own challenges, and every game is its own. You got to win that game. So tonight was an opportunity for us to get better. And AD came out from the start. Being a hometown kid, him and Taylor. It was our job to help them get the ball to them, and let them make plays in AD, and they both did that.
Bill?
Hey, LeBron. Tuesday will be a year since the accident, and I'm wondering, you were in a really tough spot as the leader of this team going through that, and kind of the face of the organization going through that. I'm wondering how you feel like going through that as the leader of this team changed your relationship with the city of Los Angeles and with the organization.
I try not to put myself back in that headspace because it was just too dark for not only myself, but for organization and for everyone that's involved in it. As a leader of the ball club, it was my job and my responsibility to take it all on, and represent our team with the most strength that I could, prosper at that point in time. For the purple and gold, for Laker Nation, it was my job to take that responsibility. And I wanted to let everyone know inside this organization that I was okay with doing that, that's all I can say about that.
Dave?
LeBron, Anthony called himself out after the last game you guys had, even though you won. And he said he wasn't playing well as of late. I'm curious, is that part of the accountability that you guys speak about as what you want to have in that locker room, him acknowledging that he wants more from him? And did you put your arm around a guy like that? Do you try to help him going through whatever the funk he claimed it to be?
Absolutely, both. One, sometimes you allow a guy to kind of, go through it and figure it out for themselves, but also at the same time, let him know that we're here for him. And me as the leader of the squad and me as his brother, let him know whatever he needs from me, I can do. And it started with us, getting him the ball early and often, tonight, and and it's just right back on track.
Kyle? Hey, LeBron. One of the common threads between you and Kobe is how much you both love Michael Jordan. And I'm wondering, as when Kobe was coming up, I mean, he was very famous for kind of replicating Mike and doing those moves. As either a teenager or a young guy in the league, was that something that you sort of had an appreciation for and gave you any kind of respect factor for Kobe?
I only looked at Kobe for him. You know, obviously you've seen a lot of the similarities between, you know, him and Mike, but I appreciate Kobe's game for Kobe's game. You know, the way he played the game, the finesse that he played with, you know, the ball handling, the capabilities, the shooting, everything that he possessed on the floor. You know, I respected him for who he was as a player, you know, and what he was able to bring out on the floor, you know, and, you know, the fact that he was able to, you know, take some things from MJ and look at some of MJ's DNA and actually be able to do it. A lot of people try to do that. A lot of people wish they can take things from some of the greats and implement it into their game and then become successful. They just can't. They don't have the ability to do it, or they don't have the drive to do it. They don't have the mindset to do it, but he actually did it and did it at a high level for a long time. And, you know, you can respect that.
Last question, Dan.
LeBron, I appreciate you and your willingness to talk a little bit about some of this stuff. You guys talk about Kobe. You do it when you break huddles. You did it last year when you wore the Mamba jerseys. You guys have celebrated him in the year. How did that help the grieving process, and why is it important to continue to do that as a team?
Man, it's a saying that says time heals all. You know, and as devastating and as tragic as it was and it still is to all of us involved with it, you know, only time, you know, and it takes time. Everyone has their own grieving process. Everyone understands how, you know, everyone individually is different, and everyone is going to, you know, grieve differently, and how long it takes them to come to grips with it, that's up to them and that individual. You know, all you can do as a friend or a loved one or anyone, and our brotherhood and our familyhood that we have here with the Lakers organization is to put an arm around someone when they need it. So, you know, us being able to remember him and, you know, wear the jerseys during the postseason, have the postseason success we had, like as you guys saw with those uniforms, or, you know, we got a lot of guys that wear shoes still to this day, obviously. You know, I'm able to wear the 2-4 on my finger every night. And then when we play in Staples Center, you see that 8 and 2-4 in the rafters and be able to just live his legacy on, you know. It's a lot of things that die in this world, but legends never die, and he's exactly that. So it's all about
paint defense, our transition defense, and our assertiveness offensively. And we didn't shoot the ball that well offensively from the perimeter, but you know, when you can get to the rim, you know, that's always the first option. And you know, I like the way we attack the paint offensively. And you know, obviously the defense in the first half was maybe as good as we've been all year. I think we took 6 charges, and just an exceptional commitment to you know, all of our coverages and you know, the paint first mindset.
You were asked about AD's offensive rhythm before the game, and you said that wasn't exactly a concern of yours. He comes out super efficient tonight, 37, you know, 11 points in the paint. I suppose that's what you were, I don't want to say expecting, but can you describe how that occurred in this case?
Yeah, I mean, he just you know, we want to make sure we're playing through him as much as possible, and you know, we got a lot of new guys on this team, so there's been times early in the season where myself and even AD has been, you know, trying to get other guys comfortable, and you know, we knew this week, the beginning of this trip was a time to really start, you know, having him be more assertive, and you know, he didn't have a great night against Milwaukee, but the mindset was there, and you know, tonight, you know, obviously he was dominant, you know, with how he was playing. So, like I said, you know, it was not something we're worried about. Just something, you know, you balance trying to get everybody going throughout the course of a long season. And you know, he was great tonight.
Kyle?
Hey, Frank. I'm sure after tonight, you guys are still the number 1 defense in the NBA, and obviously the record speaks for itself. How much of that do you think is a reflection of AD's sort of perfectionism and drive, not only to improve himself but the team?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's 2 pieces of of what you're talking about with AD. One, what he does personally on the court and the pride that he takes, but the like you said, the perfectionist part of him, wanting to be great on that side of the ball. When your two captains are really bought into being great on the defensive end, the rest of the group follows, and we have a lot of defensive talent. So, if we're working together and we're connected and playing with a locked-in mindset like we saw in the first half, we're very, very difficult to score against. And with the firepower that we have offensively, we'd be tough to beat. So we got to continue with that defensive commitment.
Dave?
Frank, before the game, you said that by the top line of the scouting report is opposing teams trying to take away your transition opportunities. Is line number 2 your three-point shooting? You guys didn't shoot it all that well tonight, coming off a really strong game in Milwaukee. Was there anything schematic or pressure-wise that Chicago was doing that led to that 4 for 19 showing?
I don't think it was necessarily. I mean, Chicago played good defense. I don't think they were trying to take away our threes. They're a paint first type of defense, but their starting center was out, so they played a lot of small lineups. They started a young player at center in Gafford, and I think they were just a little bit undermanned in terms of trying to stop us at the paint. So we were able to attack, and we'll take threes when they're high quality.
LeBron James. It doesn't stop, folks. The 4-time NBA champion is also a 4-time MVP, a 4-time NBA Finals MVP. Winning a 5th NBA championship would tie him with the likes of Magic Johnson and the late, great Kobe Bean Bryant. Max, you're up first. Would a 5th NBA title give LeBron GOAT status? I'm talking MJ, Michael Jordan, his airness GOAT status.
No. LeBron's already got the career argument. It's either him or Kareem. And I think in the pros, in the NBA, considering how LeBron's still playing at his age, it's LeBron. Peak is Jordan. And I don't see where LeBron's going to elevate his peak over Jordan's. When we talk about greatest, guys, I don't think we just mean add up all the win shares by the end of the career and who's worth more wins, right? I don't think that's what we're talking about mainly. Nor do I think it's just a guy who had one season. Oh, my God, he was all-world. He was as good as anyone I've ever seen, Bill Walton or something. I don't think that's what we're talking about. We're talking about a guy who's prime, who concentrated the highest level of performance over a significant number of years. When they were at their best, and how long did their best last? That's the best basketball ever played, right? So in baseball, if you said who's the greatest pitcher ever, you have a very good argument for Sandy Koufax. He only had 4 prime years, but one after another. No one ever did it like that. I think that's really what we're talking about when we say the best who ever did it in sports. And Michael Jordan's prime. Guys, the first time Jordan played with another All-Star was Scottie Pippen. He took the Pistons 7 games. Pippen had a migraine in Game 7, scored 2 points in 40 minutes, so they lost. He never didn't win the finals again in under 7 games. Understand? Every time you gave, here, Jordan, here's an All-Star, he won the finals in under 7 games and put up numbers the likes we've never seen, right? And was an all-world defender. He's the greatest of all time. I don't think LeBron can catch him.
Well, Max, you just moving the goalposts for your narrative again. You can't just come up with that logic and say this is why he's the greatest of all time. Maybe LeBron James is still going. He's still at his best. Even at the age of 36, he's still at his best. And here's the problem that I have. When we talk about the game of basketball, last time I checked, the game of basketball was a team sport. This is not boxing. This is not golf. This is not tennis, where rings and championships define your legacy. Yeah, it helps your legacy, but it don't define your greatness. How about the individual accolades? Because you could be on a team that just don't have the pieces, and you could be doing more than your part, which LeBron James has been doing his entire career. And I didn't even want to get into this GOAT debate because I already know you two old haters. I know how y'all act. Oh, no, it's nothing that he could do, not a damn thing. I'm just waiting for you, Stephen A. I can't even see you today because I don't even have my monitor on. Matter of fact, I don't even want to see your face right now. But at the end of the day, I said this again. I said this
Smiling
before,
ear to ear.
and I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it again. LeBron James and Michael Jordan are sitting at the same dinner table. Some people like to drink Ciroc, others like to drink Hennessy. I'm a Hennessy type guy.
I'm a Hennessy dude. That's fair enough. And listen, stop lying because you always love to see my face. Just stop lying. Stop lying, big boy. Stop lying. That's number one. Number two, you are absolutely right. There's nothing that's going to change my mind. To me, Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time, but him and LeBron James sitting at the same table. LeBron James is on the Mount Rushmore of basketball, one of the top 4 players in the history of basketball. There is no question about that. And listen, God forbid I don't say that LeBron is number 1. I mean, what's the greatest insult in the planet? Because some of the folks in this camp, that's how they treat it. Him number 2 instead of number 1. What blasphemy are you spewing? But I think it's something to be said about the road that you traveled to get there. I think that the things that the LeBron had to endure before he ultimately got to that point psychologically, mentally, emotionally, I think there's something to be said for that. I'm thinking about the scoring championships of Michael Jordan, the NBA championships of Michael Jordan, the killer instinct that was Michael Jordan. All of those things come into consideration for me. And so when I look at LeBron, it's no disrespect whatsoever. I think he's the greatest in the game today. I think he's the greatest in the history of basketball outside of Michael Jordan. But if I had to take LeBron at his best, and I don't hold him all those championship losses against him, even though he lost 6. I don't blame him for losing to the Spurs in 2007. I don't blame him for losing for the Spurs in 2014. I don't blame him for losing to KD and Golden State. I understand what he was working against. But in the end, all I'm saying is when I take LeBron at his best, and I take Michael Jordan at his best, I would want Michael Jordan every day and twice on Sunday. Over LeBron James. And that is the only person that I would want over LeBron James in the history of basketball. I don't find that to be insulting.
Stephen A. is right, Perk.
Braun had to go against more Hall of Famers, but carry on, you good. Go ahead, Max.
You could talk about. You could talk. You could use that argument. I could use. Hold on, Max. I can use the culture of the game today compared to what it was in the 80s and stuff like that. The roughhouse tactics, the rules, how soft it's become over the years. I can bring that up. We can have that argument another time, KP. We can do that.
I'm so sick. You don't want to go there.
You do not want to go
to the Hall of Fame.
You do not want to. You don't want to go.
I'm so sick of the competition argument.
Because I'm telling you, you don't want to bring up John Hornacek and Thunder Dan again. And LeBron facing KD and Kawhi. We ain't gonna go there. You right. You right. We ain't gonna go there. You right. I ain't gonna bring up Thunder Dan. You right.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about basketball in the 80s. I'm talking about basketball in the 80s. Don't act like you don't know. You know exactly what I'm talking about. There's a whole bunch of Kendrick Perkins with no softness, Cottonelle tissue
Forget about basketball in the 80s.
On the defensive side of the ball. Don't start that.
I can't.
Please.
You don't need to give Jordan extra.
It was then.
You don't need to give Jordan extra credit for that. Don't give Jordan any extra credit for that.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.